Hello students, now let us discuss chemical properties of group 13th element. In last video we came to know physical properties. Now if you see the sum of boron's first three ionization energy is very high because of its small size. So this restrict boron forming plus 3 ions and force it forms only covalent bonds. Here if you see the last video, here I am going for the slide which we discussed in the last video. If you see in last video, okay, we got this okay here. So here what happened, we boron, we don't have the plus 3 state, isn't it? Okay, so why? Because means ionization enthalpy for this more and it is not willing to lose the plus 3 electrons. Why? Because means it having the small size. Here you can see, here we don't have any reducing nature for the boron. Reducing nature means what? It has to undergo oxidation, means it has to lose the electron. So it's not going to lose the electron. So we don't have here what reduction potential they didn't given. So it is what? Restrict to form the boron plus 3 ions. We don't have plus 3 ion. It forms only what? Covalent compounds. So generally they have the ionic nature, but here boron compounds having the what? Covalent nature. Now if you say that in case of aluminum, what happened? The sum of first three ionization energies considerably decreases and it is therefore able to form aluminum plus 3 ions. Here you can see, if you go for the here what, this is first ionization enthalpy, second one, third one, okay. So if you add all together, what happened? Here ionization enthalpy somewhat less. So because of that reason, it is going to lose the electron easily. And how many means 3 here, okay. So the first three ionization energies are considerably decreases for the case of aluminium. So because of that reason, aluminium is a what? Highly electropositive metal. As we move down the group, because of poor shielding effect of intervening d and f orbitals, the increased effective nuclear charge pulls the ns electrons more tightly and restrict their involvement in bonding. As a result, only p electrons involved, and maybe here what? Involved in the bonding. In gallium, indium, thallium, both plus 1 plus 3 oxidation states are observed. Here if you go for the previous slide here, so here if you see here this one, here boron having the what? It is having the small size, does not going to want to lose the electrons. Now aluminum, what happened? Valence shell we have 3 electrons, isn't it? So it's willing to lose the 3 electron and going to what? Exhibit the plus 3 oxidation state. But in case of gallium, indium, thallium, what happened here? So here they are going to lose the what? P electron and ns electron, but not at a time. So all these are going to exhibit plus 1 and plus 3 oxidation state. Why? Because means here this is difficult to remove the what? ns electron, ns2 electron. Why? Because means as you know very well, from gallium, indium, thallium having the what? Here in case of we have the 3d 4d electrons, they having the poor shielding effect. Here along with the 5d and 4f electrons are there, compared to d and 4f also having the what? Poor screening effect. So one screening effect is lose what? Poor means it's going to attract the outermost electrons what? Effectively. So because of that reason, what happened? They are not going to lose ns electrons that much of easily. So from gallium, indium, thallium, you can see plus 1 and plus 3 means only ns electrons, np electrons are involved, you are going to get the plus 1. If only what? Along with the ns and np both are losing, you are going to get the what? Plus 3 oxidation state. So here you can see the relative stability of plus 1 oxidation state progressively increases for heavier elements. So what happened here? If you move the down the group from boron to aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium, what happened? So plus 1 stability going to be increases. Why? Because means thallium what? ns2 np1, isn't it? So because of poor screening effect of what? Here we have the, for thallium we have, for what? We have the post screening effect of f and d orbitals, both are there. So it is don't want to lose the electron from the ns2. So it is willing to lose electron from the np1. So +1 stability going to be increases from the boron to thallium. In thallium, +1 oxidation state is predominant, where +3 oxidation state is highly oxidizing in nature. Highly oxidizing, here if you see, for the thallium what +1 oxidation stable is, +1 oxidation number is more stable than that of the +3. So here +3 oxidation state is acting as a what? More oxidizing in nature. Means what? Oxidizing means what? It is undergo reduction. Means thallium +3 easily want to convert into what? Thallium +1. It depends on the, okay, here. So it is undergo what? Here reduction. Reduction means the species which undergo reduction is called what? Oxidizing agent. So here, so in +3 oxidation state, it is acting as a what? Highly oxidizing in nature. Now compounds of +1 oxidation state are more ionic than those of in +3 oxidation state. So as you know very well, less charge means they are what? Having the more ionic nature. More charge means indicate means they having the what? Covalent nature. Here if you see why we have the +1 oxidation state more stable means due to what? Inert pair effect here. Okay, what is inert pair effect? We will discuss next. So here inert pair effect means what? The reluctance of ns pair of electron to take part in bond formation is called inert pair effect. So here already we have the valence electronic configuration for the group 13 one ns2 np1. Okay. So what happened here? NP1 is want to what participates in the bonding but not the NS2. Okay, why? Because means nuclear attraction will be more. The electrons present in the NS electron having the more nuclear attraction. So they are not reluctance means they are not willing to participate in the bonding. So because of what we left here NP1. So the reluctance of NS pair of electron, okay, NS pair of electron to take part in bond formation is called inert pair effect. Or you can define another way. What is that? The occurrence of oxidation state 2 unit less than that of the group oxidation state is called inert pair effect. So now what we discussing group 13. Okay. So group 13, my here group oxidation number, how much here we have the +3. Okay. How we are going to calculate group oxidation number means, so sum of ns electron np1 np electron. So here ns electron how many we have? 2. Np how many have? 1. So 3. So here what happened? Next oxidation what we are going to get? +1. Why? Because means ns2 don't want to participate in the electron. So next what we have? +1. So difference is how much? 2 units less. So that is called what? Inert pair effect. So in group 13, thallium exhibit +1 oxidation state instead of +3 oxidation state due to inert pair effect. So thallium is willing to exhibit +1 instead of +3. Why? Because means inert pair effect. Why? Because means thallium, you can see here. Here you can see, okay, in thallium what happened here? For example, we have the, so in fourth shell we have the 4f electrons. After that, fifth shell we have the 5d10. Okay, so what happened? These having the post screening effect. Okay, so what happened? Nuclear attraction over the outermost shell going to be increases. So here we have the sixth shell, we have the 6 to 6p1. Okay, so nuclear attraction over the outermost shell will be increases. So these two having the post screening effect. So because of that, what reason, what happened? The 6 to electrons are going to be pulled towards the nucleus, and only 6p1 electron participates in the bonding. So it's having the +1 oxidation state is more stable than that of the +3. That is called inert pair effect. Here you can see that inert pair effect in the next group onwards also. Here we have the one, this is our okay, 13th group. Okay, so group oxidation number here, how much here? 3. After the thallium want to exhibit what? 1. Why? Because means here outermost electronic configuration ns2 np1. So here ns2 don't want to participate in the electron, participate in the bonding, so we left with np1. So thallium +1 is more stable. Next here if you see the 14th group, here valence shell electronic configuration, you have ns2 np2. Okay, so ns2 don't want to participate in the bonding, so we what we left? np2 means 2 electrons. So tin lead +2 is more stable. After that if you see the group 15, so here we have valence shell electronic configuration ns2 np3. So here np3 electrons, what they are going to lose the electron. So here we have the plus is more stable. So you can see inert pair effect means simply ns2 electron don't want to participate in the bonding, that is called inert pair effect, that you can see the in group 13, 14, 15 also. Okay, so here electronegativity also going to affect, isn't it? Okay, for the group 13, boron having the more electronegativity, then thallium, indium, gallium, then aluminium. So in trivalent state, nothing but plus 3 state, what happened? The number of electrons around the central atom in a molecule of the compounds of these elements will be only 6. For example, boron trichloride. Okay, so what happened? Boron trichloride. This is the structure of boron trichloride. We have the trigonal planar shape. Okay, this is the word trigonal planar. Okay, means the triangle present in the plane is called trigonal planar. So here if you see the number of electrons around the boron trichloride, so total we how many have? We have only 6. Here you can see this is 2 electron, 2 electron, 2 electrons. So total how many electrons we have? Total 6. So it is not going to follow the octet. So what happened now? To get the octet here, it is going to take the electron from the donors, nothing but electron donors. Now it's going to take the electron from the ammonia and forming the structure by tetrahedral. Now octet is there. Okay, here 2 electron, 2 electron, 2 electron. As we discussed already, one bond means what? 2 electrons. So here we have the 8 electrons are there. So they are going to accept the electrons. So that's why it's called, according to Lewis, the electron acceptor is what? Lewis acid. So they are going to act as a what? Lewis acid. Okay, so boron trichloride have the tendency to accept a pair of electrons to achieve the stable electronic configuration, thus behave as a what? Lewis acid. Now this is a what? Lewis acid. Okay, this tendency to behave as a Lewis acid decreases with increase in size down the group. So here if you see in boron halides and aluminum halides, gallium, indium, thallium halides, boron halides are more willing to take the electron easily. So it is having the what? Uh, more Lewis acid compared to other halides. So boron trichloride accept a lone pair of electron from the ammonia to form the, here we have the compound is going to form. Okay, next if you see the aluminum trichloride, it is going to stabilize as a dimer. Why? Because means here once here for example this is a one aluminium and another aluminium. Now if it is a only aluminium means what happen? Again we have the only 6 electron around it. If you see the only aluminium, what happened? For example, aluminium chloride. Okay, so here what happened? 2 electron, 2 electrons, 2 electron means again we have only 6 electron, isn't it? So it's going to get the octet. So by formation of what? Dimer. So this is a dimer means what? 2 molecules we have. So this is a one aluminium, this is another aluminium. They are going to form the dimer and attaining the what? Stability. Now here, most of the covalent compounds in the trivalent state are hydrolyzed in water. Okay, so in trivalent state means they having the what? Covalent nature and they are going to be reactive with the water. Let us see here, aluminium chloride in acidic aqueous solution form octahedral ion. In this complex ion, the 3d orbitals are involved and the hybridization is what? sp3d2. Means here aluminum chloride means you can take the what? Aluminum, in this aluminum chloride having the oxidation number how much? Plus 3. Okay, so aluminum chloride and react with the water, it is giving the complex called as octahedral. What the shape here? The octahedral complex. Okay, octahedral means as you know very well we have the what? 8 phases. Already we discussed in the what? Chemical bonding. Here you know very well aluminium. Okay, octahedral means here we have the 4 water molecules on the square planar. Okay, so this is a 4 water molecules over and 1 water molecules below the plane and another water molecule above the plane. Okay, this is the shape of octahedral. So here if you see how they are going to form the octahedral means, so here aluminum belongs to what third period. So we have the valence shell electronic configuration 3s to 3p1. So once we have the third shell means what happened? Along with the 3s to 3p1 we have the 3d orbitals are available, isn't it? So what happened? As you know very well, 3d once orbital 3d is there means they are going to use the sp sp here what happened, sp3d2 means this s orbitals and 3, along with that here we have the 2 d orbital going to use and forming the what, sp3d2 hybrid orbitals. Total they are going to form the 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbitals. Already we discussed. Next element in the group, because of availability of one d orbital, they can expand the valency. So it's going to aluminum going to expand the valency and forming the what, coordination number 6. Next reaction with the air. So reaction with the air, they are going to form the what, oxides. Here if you see here, boron in the crystalline form is unreactive, means in the crystal form it is a unreactive, but amorphous means what, lacking a clear structure, means we don't have particular structure. In the stage on heating in air form the what, oxide called as a what, here we have the B2O3 oxide. Aluminum on heating form the aluminum oxide. Here you can see element and reaction with the oxygen form the what, oxides of E2O3 type formula oxide. At high temperature, dinitrogen forms the what, with dinitrogen they are going to form the what, nitrates. Okay, so here on the first group also lithium is going to form the nitrates. Here also at high temperature they are going to form the what, nitrates. So boron trioxide is what, acidic in nature. If you see the oxides, these are the oxides of group 13 elements. In this if you see here, the boron oxide is what, acidic in nature. Okay, aluminium and gallium oxides are what, amphoteric in nature, means having the both acidic and basic in nature, whereas indium and thallium having the what, basic in nature. So you have to remember this acidic ion, here we have the amphoteric, this is the what, basic in nature. So here what happened, at high temperature dinitrogen forms nitrates. Already we discussed, going to form the nitrates formula. Here let us see the nitrates formula what we have. Here this is the element and reaction with the nitrogen gives the what, nitrates. Here formula, why, because for example what here if you see the formula, okay, for the sake of understanding, here we already discussed amphoteric nature of aluminum oxide. Here you can see aluminum oxide and reaction with the acid HCl gives the aluminum chloride and water. This is what, oxide. Oxide also having the what, amphoteric in nature, and reaction with the base giving the sodium metaluminate and water. So it indicates what, amphoteric nature of aluminum oxide. Just now we discussed about the what, aluminum. This is what, aluminum oxide. So aluminum and aluminum oxide both are having the what, amphoteric in nature. Here we have some reactions with aluminum. Okay, in text question we have some, sorry, backside test question also have. Here what happened, depends on the acid is going to what, give different product. Here we have the dilute or concentrated HCl. Dilute means what, we have the less amount of HCl in water. Concentrated means what, we have more amount of HCl in the HCl in the water. Okay, so in the both diluted and concentrated HCl, aluminum gives the what, here hydrogen. So aluminum chloride, hydrogen going to be evolved. When if you take here with the H2SO4, here dilute H2SO4 reaction is different, concentrate H2SO4 reaction is different. So with dilute H2SO4 it is giving the aluminum sulfate and liberate the hydrogen, whereas in concentrate H2SO4 it is giving the aluminum sulfate, water and sulfur dioxide. Okay, the reactions are depends on the what, depends on the dilute or concentrate H2SO4. Now again here with the HNO3 again depends on the what, concentration. So very direct HNO3 is going to produce what, ammonium nitrate. Here let us see here, aluminum and reaction with HNO3 gives the aluminum nitrate, sorry, it is aluminum nitrate with ammonium nitrate and water, whereas in concentrated H2SO4, okay, makes aluminium passive due to the formation of thin film oxide layer on the metal surface. What does that mean? I will go for the next here. So you should be very careful. Here we have the three types of acid. Okay, with dilute HCl, constant HCl reactions are same. So next, with the H2SO4 dilute concentration also reactions are different. Here next with the HNO3, here again depends on the concentration. Very dilute solution and concentrated solution. We have different reaction. Let us see here what is the meaning of passive here. Important. Okay. So aluminum here become passive. Passive means what? Loss of their normal reactivity. Okay. So due to formation of thin protective layer of the oxide on the surface of the metal, which prevent further action. So because of that reason, okay, because of passivity between the aluminum and constant HNO3, the constant HNO3 is transported in aluminum container. Simply what happened here, we have the, for example, aluminum container is there. Okay, so can you transport the concentrated HNO3 in this means? Yes. Why? Because means here, because of formation of some layer, aluminum is going to form some layer. Because of formation of layer on the aluminum container, what happened? This is concentrated HNO3 does not react with the aluminum. So you can transport the concentrated HNO3 in aluminum container. Here we saw previous what happened, HCl and H2SO4, they are going to react with the aluminum. So we cannot transport, but we can transport the concentrated HNO3. Next reaction with the halogen. So reaction with the halogen, they are going to form the formula as what? EX3. So best example as you know very well, aluminum chloride. Okay, so why? Because aluminum having the plus 3 oxidation state, chlorides having the what? -1. Here if you go for the crisscross, the formula is what? This one. So here you can see the thallium is going to form the halides like thallium fluoride, thallium chloride, thallium bromide. Okay, so all are these are what? The compounds are poisonous.